Hi guys, I just wanted to put this video together because we're going into lockdown 2, the return, unfortunately. So we've got a difficult period to get through as business owners. Now it's been a bit of a rough ride this year already, and we've already had lockdown. We've had the return from lockdown. Now we're having the return of lockdown. So another tough period for business owners to get through. And the best way I thought of kind of helping you through this period would be to come up with an action plan to make sure that your business is taking all the right steps during this period to enable you to either survive or thrive on the other side of it. So I've split that down into six areas, 6 simple steps I think we can all take to make sure our businesses are doing everything that we can to be in that place that we want them to be. So number 1, is review your business, Review its operations and what it does. Can it pivot? Can it do something differently during lockdown that perhaps it wasn't able to do before? Reviewing what it does. Not all of you are going to be able to operate in exactly the same way, so it's about making sure that business still manages to operate. So the examples of, the simple examples are things like, the normal restaurants turning themselves into takeaways. You've got the retail outlets turning themselves to click and collect, that type of thing where we can't trade how we normally would, but we can trade in a slightly different way. So it's really worth looking at that. Now, the first time I went into lockdown, a lot of those things weren't viable. The grants and everything that were in place were a lot more favourable the first time. So this time, this option may be something we need to seriously consider. Also, the first time around, the furlough scheme was a lot different. So you couldn't actually furlough an employee and have still them working part of the time, and this time you can do that. So they can work part of the time and be furloughed for part of the time, so you can operate slightly differently if you need to and make it viable. So it's working out what can that business do, what can your business do that still allows you to trade, but also making sure that what you're doing now is a viable economically. So really worth looking at this time, something that is going to help you through this period. So that's number 1. Number 2, really important, cash flow, reviewing your cash flow, doing what I call a cash flow forecast. I know it sounds fancy, it really isn't. Cash is the most important thing in a business. You don't have any, you're struggling. Making sure what that looks like over ideally the next 3 months is really where you want to be. So it's not a difficult thing to do. It's literally what's in your bank, add up what's coming in, take out what's going out in the next month and see how that looks. Do that for 3 months. A lot of them will be the same things anyway, and just see how that looks from a cash management perspective. Then we can once we've got that information, we can take that and see what actions or steps we need to take in order to make it work for you. So really 2 crucial bits there. Number 3 is review all the government support packages that are available. Lots of these, a lot of them are quite similar to what was available before. Some of them are different. I've mentioned kind of the job retention scheme, the furloughing already. So make sure you're up to date and up to speed on that and what you need to do. We've got the self-employed income support scheme. Again, another version of that. We've got mortgage holidays. We've got grants. We've got loans. All of those things that are going to help you through this period. You may take advantage of some of them already, you may not, but we need to just make sure we explore each avenue to make sure you're getting what you're entitled to, what you need to get through. Number 4 is join our Facebook group and our page. Reason being is we post all the up-to-date information on there, so if stuff changes, it just means we can keep you up to date and just keep on top of things, because things change so quickly at the moment. It's really important that you do that. Number 5, this is, I think, an important one. If your business can't operate as normal and you don't have, you find you can't do as much work as you normally would, you may have a bit of spare capacity in terms of time. A lot of business owners, or nearly every business owner that I speak to, always one of their common themes is they don't have enough time to do everything that they need to do. They can't do some of the things they want to because they're always too busy. So this may be an opportunity for you to use some of this time to do some of those things. So it could be anything. It could be updating or changing your accounting system, something you've been meaning to do and need to do for ages. Getting better systems and processes in place for when you're back up and running as normal. One of the other things that I talk a lot about is kind of KPIs and making sure that you're doing the right things within your business because you're measuring the right things, getting a system in place to know what things you need to do and measure in order to make your business do better, essentially. It could be that you've got a new side of the business that has got potential, but you haven't developed it. You haven't had the time to do so. Maybe it's time to start looking at that side of the business and making that work. So there's plenty of other things as well. They're just examples of things that you could use the time to do. So focus on those things that you can do and not the things that you can't. Lastly, but also important, depending on who your advisors are, but I'm an accountant. If I can help you, I will. All of those things above I can help you with. So please do get in touch. I will do my very best to help any business that's struggling or needs help on those areas. So yeah, get in touch if you need to. All my contact details, if you're watching this, then they'll be somewhere, okay?